And they could never shoot me down. If a higher is my pilot, I'm soaring, and I ain't going down without a fight. And if I fall, I'ma go down swinging. I'ma keep flapping even if they shoot my wings. And I got nothing but my fist, my soul and my spirit, my power from above. So tell them they can bring it, I'm fearless. And I'ma stand, and I shall fear no demon or man. Yeah, tell them I'm ready to rumble. Spirit of a lion, and this is my jungle. Float like a butterfly, sting like a bumble. Knock a devil out and leave him horizontal. And my heart's been on a rampage ever since the day it broke out of the rib cage.
Shalom. So let's get back into the word. Okay, yeah, just straight back in. Let's just make sure that the camera angle is okay. Awesome. Right, so where we stopped, we're dealing with, this is the other part of knowing a higher. Okay, so what does it mean to know the Most High? Okay, so a lot of us claim to know the Most High, including Israelites. There's been times when I thought I knew the Most High and I didn't know Him. You know, so it was just His grace that was keeping me at those times. And this is very, very important, because without keeping His commandments, as I showed earlier in the subsequent part, you don't know the Most High. Without keeping the commandments, you're a liar if you keep claiming to know the Most High. You got to keep all of the commandments. Okay, so we're going to start off with that. Let's start off with James. Let's start off with James, because like I said in the subsequent part, a lot of people come up with this whole stuff, and this all comes down to, oh yes, Daniel, can you do me a favor? Could you go and get my pocket phone in my bag? Okay. So this all deals with that whole nonsense of, yeah, I'm trying my best to keep the commandments. Rubbish. What you mean you're trying your best to keep the commandments? No, you're either keeping the commandments or you're not keeping the commandments. When you break one part of the commandments, you're breaking all. Now there's a place where you're struggling with certain things, and you have to deal with it. That's fine, and the Most High, that's why we have grace, because all has sinned and fallen short of the glory of a higher. But we have to keep the commandments to the full. So let's start with James first. James chapter 2 verse 10. It says, For whoso shall keep the whole law and yet offend in one point. So if you keep the whole law and you offend in one point, he is guilty of all. No, some. All. You're guilty of all of it. I'll read that again. It says, whoso shall keep the whole law and yet offend in one point, he is guilty of all. For he that saith, so the Most High said, do not commit adultery, said also, do not kill. So the Most High is the same person that said, do not commit adultery. He's the same one that told us not to kill. So it's all one law. So if you break the commandment of committing adultery, yet you haven't killed someone, you're a murderer. That's why John said, he said, whoever has hatred towards his brother is a murderer. You're a murderer, man. Right. So if you see injustice, if you see your brothers going down because when you see in Leviticus 19:17, it says, you shall not hate your brother in your heart, and you shall in any wise rebuke thy neighbor. So if you see your brother, committing any sin, and you don't rebuke them, and you just leave them just because, like you don't want to offend people, you are a murderer. Because you have hatred, because you're supposed to rebuke your brother. That's how deep these things go. Thank you, Daniel. Yeah. So this is how deep these things go. Because this is no time to play games. We have to get this right, or else none of us will inherit the kingdom. We really have to get this right. Okay, so let's go back to James again. James chapter 2 verse 10. For whoso shall keep the whole law and yet offend in one point, he is guilty of all. For he that said, do not commit adultery, said also, do not kill. Now if thou commit no adultery, yet if thou kill, thou hast become a transgressor of the law. So speak ye, and so do. So speak ye, and so do. Right? As they that shall be judged by the law of liberty. Right. So this whole thing of you know, I'm just trying my best, you can't afford to say that, man. That's just excuses for sin. And that's why I wanted you to get the Apocrypha, so we can just dive into this now. So let's go straight into this whole thing of knowing the law. So we've dealt with one part, one aspect, which is not, when I say it's split into two parts, it really isn't two parts, it is one. So it's key to understanding that it's not two parts, it's one. You know, it's literally keeping the commandments, period. But if you keep the commandments, then you know that we're supposed to love each other, we're supposed to love the Ahaya with all of our heart, all of our soul, all of our strength. Shema Yasharala Ahaya, Alahaya N.A.W.A Ahaya Akkad. Hear, O Israel, the Most High power is one. And we shall love Ahaya with all of our heart, all of our soul, and all of our strength. And in like manner, so we're supposed to love our neighbor like with everything that we have. That's why you see in Acts 2, they shared all things together, they had all things in common. And this is what the Most High expects of us. So we really need to, if we claim to know the Most High, we need to come to this. And that's why you see in John chapter 17 as well, when Yeshua was praying, it says that they may be one with each other, even as I and you are one. Oneness, unity, one body. There's no division, there's no schism in the body. So as much as we have different camps, we have different organizations and everything, that's always been the case. You know, even in Revelation, you see there were 7 churches, and he rebuked the 7 of them differently according to the places where they were off in their doctrines, or off in their conduct, or off in the way that they acted. For instance, Thyatira, he rebuked them for allowing that Jezebel to speak. That was in Revelation 2. It says you shouldn't allow that Jezebel to teach, or have, you know, or to seduce my servants into committing adultery, or to eating food sacrificed to idols. Because that woman still want to eat that pork chops, man. She want to teach, even though it's a commandment that she's supposed to shut her damn mouth. And I know a lot of people hate me for these words when I say this directly as it is, but it's no smooth words, man. This is exactly what it is. When I say shut your damn mouth offends you, then you need to check yourself, because that's exactly the tone that Paul used when he says you're commanded not to speak. Yeah, shut your mouth, keep quiet.
If you was in check, I wouldn't have to tell you to shut your mouth.
Exactly. If you're in check, then you wouldn't. It just won't even offend you. This would be you know, the truth is, you know, sweet. It's like honey. That's what the psalmist said, David. It's truth is sweet to your mouth. But it's when you know that you're rebellious yourself, that it's the real rebellious ones that get offended when the words come out, because you know that you're given to that. You know that you rule your man, and you don't want to shut that trap of yours, because that's what it is. Your mouth is a trap, and we see in Proverbs chapter 5 that a lot of our men are falling into that trap. So you, as a daughter of Zion, you need to humble yourself, and you need to repent, and you stop leading the men down the road of hell. Right, that's that for that. We're dealing with knowing the Most High. Okay, so I'm just going to read 1 John again, because we cut it off and did another part. So let's just read it again, so we get the first part, which is not a different part, it's the same part. It's keeping the commandments, but when it splits to the other part, you know, when we go to Jeremiah chapter 22, then we'll see what it actually means, when the manifestation of what happens when we keep the law. What fruits do we bear?
Sorry, Rachel, could you move over a bit, please? You'll still be on. Yeah,
alright, so it says now, 1 John chapter 2 verse 4, he that said, I know him, and keepeth not his commandments, is a liar. He that said, I know him, and keepeth not his commandments is a damn liar. And there's no two ways about that. There's no shortcuts. There's no if, buts, or maybes. There's no, oh yeah, I know him. I have a personal relationship with him. Jesus came into my bedroom last night. Yo, damn liar. Like, I dealt with a sister on Facebook. I told her straight up, you know, you stop teaching. Because she was like, oh, I don't teach. You don't teach, but you're rebuking camps for, you know, calling. She said apparently, oh, your camps are calling all the, you know, people demons and all of that stuff and everything. But like, have you, and they're powerless themselves because they've not cast out any demons. And I asked her a simple question: have you casted out any demon yourself? She paused. She first of all tried to evade the question, and afterwards, then she said yes, that she had cast out demons. I'm like, you're a damn liar. I'll tell you that straight. Because first of all, before you even say that, if you said you were about that, a daughter of Zion will know she's not supposed to teach. So if you really claim that, you know, you're casting out demons and all of that, then you're not supposed to even teach in the first place. So you're already breaking the commandments. So who are you dealing with then? That just shows me that you're not about the truths, man. You're just about your own agenda. And this is what we need to come off that. We need to come off our own agenda and start to keep the agenda of the Most High, the laws of the Most High. When we're dealing with the Most High's word, we've got to understand that these are laws, every single bit of it, not just the laws that were given to us. Because it says precept must be upon precept. What are precept? Precept means a law. It's a constitution. We've got to deal with it as ambassadors of the Most High. When an ambassador goes to a country, he represents the king. He represents the nation. He doesn't speak his own words. He has to speak. And that's what 1 Peter chapter 4 verse 11 says. Whoever you are, if any man speaks, let them speak as the oracle of the Most High. If anyone minister, let him minister with according to the gift that the Most High gives. Okay, right. So let's get back now. So we've seen that you're a liar. We've seen that first part now, right? Now we're going to deal with this. We're going to expand on this more. But let me just get you the second part, which is the same part as I said, but it's good to define things so that people understand and we're all on the same page. Because this is what it all comes down to at the end: love. Okay, but what is love? Is it sensationalism? You know, Jeremiah, love is unity between our brothers, between each other, coming together and sharing all things together. You know, and making sure that we are one community that keeping the law, statutes, and commandments, not in hypocrisy, but in truth, in spirit and in truth. And if that means to rebuke my neighbor, so I don't suffer sin on them, according to Leviticus chapter 19 verse 17, and that's exactly what's going to happen. Jeremiah chapter 22 verse 16. He judgeth the cause of the poor and needy, and it was
that very same flame that you see in my eyes.
What the Most High is giving us. He's giving us choice. Exactly. 100%. You have a choice. When He's saying, look, your choice is not free. You got life, you got death. You got good, you got evil. You got to choose life. You got to choose life, you get destroyed. Deuteronomy chapter 30, verse... Deuteronomy 30, I'll start from verse 11. For this is a commandment which I command thee this day. It is not hidden from thee, neither is it far off. Because people say, oh, I'm trying to keep the commandments. But all of that is just an excuse to keep on sinning. You know, you don't try to do, you do it. Just like if your son was to say, you told your son, look, come back at 9 p.m. You know, if your son don't come up at 9 p.m., you're going to punish him. Because you don't try to come back at 9 p.m. You do exactly what I tell you to do. That's what the Most High said. Most High said, you do exactly what I tell you to do. So that's why it's called a commandment. It's not a suggestion. It's not, okay, if you like to, you got freedom of choice. Try to keep it. No, you got to keep it or you're going to get destroyed. And then the reason why He gave us a race is because all of sin, we didn't give it to the customer of Eden. He gave us enough time to get an accident. So that is the gospel, man. So that get out of the hell mode that we're in. Because we so called black people today, we're in hell.